Welcome back, guys, to the channel. Appreciate y'all watching. Going to the Outer Banks Kitty Hawk in 2 days, and no, I'm not going to release this video until after we get back, so none of y'all come in here and break into my house knowing that I'm gone. But anywho, so I will say this: I've been kind of anxious pretty much today and probably going in tomorrow because we've got so much crap to do, and I think I put it on myself because I'm trying to relieve any pressure on our neighbors, trying to take care of our animals or her animals in the garden, but also when we get back it's going to be so much easier when we start watering and doing all the gardening and all that stuff. So I ended up getting a bucket. Brittany wanted to get these little chicken waterers. So our project today is to be able to get the water bucket for the chickens, to be able to fill it up, insert these little cups. I've got a water jug out back, a 55 barrel, thank you Chris Wingfield. Then I'm going to try to get that working today with a spigot. So, and we also got 2 soaker hoses I want to connect to it, and got a wide spigot. So right now, project for Brittany, brought it inside because it's hot as Hades outside. So we're going to end up putting these cups onto this Harbor Freight barrel. And no, Harbor Freight is not a sponsor.
It'd be nice. It's your favorite store.
It would be nice. I do like me some Harbor Freight. Alright. With this kit, they went ahead and gave us a drill bit, the perfect size for it. So I'm going to drill the holes into it, and then Brittany's going to assemble it.
Oh, I have a Sharpie.
Yeah. I'm thinking the bottom of that line right there. While I'm doing this, Brittany, tell me something about yourself.
Well, I have been roped into this channel today.
She wasn't prepared for it. She says she hates being on camera.
It's not my favorite thing, but I'm super thankful that Jonathan is making me this waterer for the chickens. Excuse me, my chickens. Jonathan's, they're not his. So it will make it easier for our neighbors, because likely their children are going to come and help with all of this. They also have to feed. So they've got chickens, ducks, Chubbs, our pug, will be being boarded, so we won't have to worry about him. But Ziggy, our lab, will just kind of come in and out. They'll come and let him in and out a couple times a day.
Yeah, so thank you, Winfrey, children,
likely.
And grown-ups.
Right. So...
And then what else do they got to take care of?
Yeah, actually, I forgot about we have a cat. She'll come in and out as she pleases. We've got a ball python, but it doesn't have to be fed. We fed it the other day. Thank goodness it's on a 2-week rotation now.
That's a snake, ball python. She didn't want to say that, snake.
I didn't care. People know what a ball python is.
We got a whole nother story for that snake, too. I can tell y'all later.
Well, I'd be careful. I feel like you're going like really aggressive and coming out and making the hole bigger. And we have a crested gecko.
Alrighty, Mama.
Alright.
So, she is going to insert said in the hole.
I was worried you were just making them too big.
Well, no trust. You just push it in there. It's just
It
plastic.
fishing. Not with my little...
You're not holding your mouth right. But if that's working, that's...
I feel like it's a smarter avenue here. So how much was this bucket?
$5.
Nice. So the little cups I got on Amazon, I think I got them for like 20 bucks maybe at the most. All right, I think.
And it'll pull tight once you start using the washer in there.
Okay.
So she's gonna, inside, she's gonna put this little wing nut.
Doesn't matter how I do it.
Nope. Or lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Yeah.
Yeah, also make sure it does go to the bottom, as far as you can to the bottom of this bucket. We probably could have gone just maybe a hair, maybe not. The only reason why is now you have 2 inches off the bottom of this. So 2 inches of this is pretty much not going to be worth anything, 2 inches of water. I just figured that out, just thinking about it.
That's what I was like trying to say.
Yeah, but I didn't want it to go all the way to the bottom and having to snap off if we... And I think the functionality of these things, if you look here, once we fill the bucket, it's gonna have pressure, comes into this cup, starts filling it automatically.
Yeah.
So keep filling until it's got enough in there, and once that pushes down, it stops. And then once they drink out of here and it starts loosening up, a little bit more water will pour into it until it stops. So,
At least they
right.
get-
Brittany has been going out there and giving them water every single day. Which I know is probably not the best. All right, I'll get it. Those wing nuts in there, just give them to where they're snug.
Okay. What is it?
It's an ice cube, but it's made out of body armor.
Ew, gross.
And that's not real body armor, it's body armor the drink.
Also not a sponsor.
Yeah. Alrighty, well I think Mama's almost finished with that. I'm gonna let her continue with that, and then I'm gonna go ahead, since we're starting to lose daylight, and try to figure out that water situation. But Mama will bring this out there with us, and we'll figure out where to put it. Alright, so here's the barrel that Chris Wingfield graciously gave to me, and he basically said it was at his house when he bought their house. People before them used it, and then they never used it, but once they bought the house. But I started looking at it, and it looks like this has been a long time since it's been used. So what I'm going to do is end up getting, I got a new fitting that we're going to use that Brittany actually had for something else. So I'm going to end up
see Jess for a minute.
putting this on there. All right.
Love you.
Love you too. So, plan is insert this in, screw it on, and then we can put a spigot inside of it. So let me get all that stuff ready. And I also saw a trick on YouTube how to fish this through, because there's no way I can get my arm all the way down in there to push and hold it in. Guess there is a way, but yeah, I ain't wanting to do that. All right, guys, I think I got everything prepped up, ready to make this water barrel ready. So disconnected the old one, no telling how old that is, popped out the inside piece as well. You have to excuse me, back's been killing me today, so that's why I popped up a chair. So we got the male end that we're going to put in from the inside and pop it through. Then we're going to put the washer on, rubber washer, ring washer, and then the nut. But this was the issue where I was finding out, oh, and we got to drill the hole bigger. So I've got a 1 3/4. I'm hoping it's not too big. An 1.5 was just too small. So this 1 3/4, I'm going to drill the hole and make sure down here at the bottom, I'm just going to go off the same hole they had here. All right, we got the hole there. Clean up what I can. So the trick to this since I want to reach all the way down in the bottom, and then some of these, you'll get a barrel that doesn't have a screw lid on it. It's just flat. So what you can do is through the little, if you have one that's just flat on the top and normally has a hole where you can fill it up with, what you do is get a socket wrench or a socket. This one has to be a 17 millimeter because that's the first one I grabbed. And I put it on 550 cord, but it can be on any kind of cord you want, but you have to cut it off. It can't be on a continuous cord, and I'll show you why here in a second. So you'll end up dropping this down the barrel, lining it up with the hole that you just made. And see, I can almost drop it in there, but you pull it through. So I got plenty here. Bingo, got that. So what I'm gonna do now is fish the male end, but I needed the male end to go in first. It's gonna go through first. It's gonna slide all the way down to here. That way it just guided me straight through the hole. I didn't even have to go down and reach down and pick it up. So that's how you get it to come in through the inside. So that's pretty nifty. And this actually, it'll tell you here how to tighten it. It goes reverse the way you think, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So once I get it started, this is going to go, I'll start turning it leftwise. Hold my finger in there, just start tightening it up. Might have could have gone with something a little bit smaller in between, I guess, 1 5/8 inch, so I'm not sure if they make a hole saw that small. All right, the crisis might have been averted. I ended up not using this washer, and this nut has like a bevel on the back of it. You might be able to see it on this side, little bevel. So when I'm tightening this nut onto the washer, it's actually sponging that washer out. So it actually filled in the gap. So it's just right there. That 1 3/4 was, I need to go with something a little bit smaller. Maybe try the 1 1/2, see if I can get it to go through, and if not, it's a step up. I'm assuming they would have a 1 5/8, but I didn't have it, so dealt with what I had. But I got that on. We'll end up putting the spigot on real quick, but I'm gonna put some Teflon tape. Just a strip while I'm already here and I already had it. I saw it. So make sure I put it on the right way. I think it's this way. I won't go crazy with it. Just all right. I think we're cooking. I think we're cooking. All right. Now the next step is fill it up with water. And unfortunately, this one's real low, so I'm gonna have to keep it off the edge of this platform with the hose. So you'll see here right before I fill it up, my plan, if I can still do it, it's what, 820. Plan is get the soaker hose. Got 2 of them, they're 50 feet. Wrap it around these planters. Since this is the highest spot on this ground, of course, how gravity, this will be the best spot for the garden right now. But as long as I can get it working right now for the garden, and then when we come back from vacation, we can move it, figure out something else for it. So let me get at it and I'll show you the finished product. Well guys, my plan failed. See, we're getting a pretty good drip in there, which, yeah, all right, that's not the world's worst, but this soaker hose, there's not enough pressure coming through this to be able to push through this soaker hose. So good thing is I bought an extra hose, regular garden hose. So what I'm gonna do is this garden hose is gonna get connected to 2 soaker hoses that are here. And then the other one is going to be able to fill up any other water and stuff around here. So when they turn on the nozzle, I'll have a Y split here. We'll take this Y split off, put on the regular one. We'll be able to shoot water into the garden, and then we've already got a Y split up at our spigot. So one's going to go for the animals if they need anything spraying while we're gone, and the other one will automatically just shut on water here, so they can just turn it on, let it go for an hour or two, and then come back and turn it back off. So yeah, hey, that's trial and error at its best. I will say, if I wasn't in such a rush, it's better to have these elevated, of course, like we said, gravity. So if I could build a platform, something a little bit higher, to be able to sit it up on here, and even if we can't use it gravity fed, we could still run a hose off of it and just turn it off and just sprinkle water, or I can put it closer to the animal feed. Ideally, I would like to put it under a gutter so it can start collecting rainwater, so it'll be a secondary water source for us. But just get a couple more. If anybody else has got any out there they want to get rid of, holla at your boy. About to go in and take a shower. I won't forget about this once I get the hoses up, and then I'm gonna be in beach mode. So y'all stay tuned. All right guys, so you see where the garden, this water tank didn't work for it. So this is plan B, putting it here at the chicken coop. And look at the lovely bucket with the water on it. So I wanted to get this high enough so she'll be able to put it up under it. So she might drag this a little bit closer, or we might get just a little bit of a hose or cut off piece, and she can fish it over. But this is what we're doing. Gonna put a gutter on this back end to catch the water that's coming off and dump in here for the water for the chickens. And I will tell you, so I had to go to Lowe's and go buy this piece. I ended up, you seen where this is the one I originally had, and it didn't, I think I cut the hole too big. I used an 1 3/4 hole, and I believe this is just 1 inch diameter, so I didn't have enough and it was leaking just a little bit. So I went to Lowe's. One of the guys asked me if they can help me. I showed him the piece. It's like, no, we don't have it here. So I was like, oh, okay. He said, you're gonna have to go to a plumber store. Well, I ended up just keep looking, and they do actually have it. So in reference, if anybody wants to, this is the package here. It's a Proline, and it's item number 877123. So I went ahead and bought it. It is 17 bucks. That was a big con on it, but it worked. It fit in that 1 3/4 inch hole, perfect. I did also, see, I'm gonna take this off. So when I fished that male in through, I put the rubber gasket on the inside of the tube instead of the outside like I did the first time. I put it on the inside, and then it came with another small little washer, and that I just put that on the outside, and I just hand tightened that down, and presto, no issues. I got water up to here so far, no leaking. Actually, I've had it up to here, but I had to pour some out to move it. So that's working. Then I got this little, I think $7 faucet. I thought it was easier to spin on the top than to have one spinning out here, because then you just start loosening up everything in this way. That's just my thinking. So anywho, that's that. 17 bucks. Now what we're going to do is put this gutter on, and I'll tell you the pieces right now. This gutter is a 10-foot piece. It's I was just going to say plastic. It's not metal. Maybe it's vinyl, whatever you want to call it. 10 foot long, and it was $7. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. $7 for that, but they get you with these end caps. These are pretty quick push-in connection caps, and I believe it was actually $9. So I bought one for each end, but I really think I'm only going to use one end and then let the other end be open so it can flush in to the barrel. And they got me also with these brackets. There's the other end. And make sure when you get these, you got to have a left and a right end. You end up buying two and it'll be the same size. if you decide to plug in both sides. So this should be a brace in the middle of your gutters that keep it from, or just keeps it sturdy. So I bought 2 of these, and I think they were expensive too. They might have been $7 for each. They're supposed to snap in. I'm just going to do 2 on each, about halfway, just to keep it sturdy. And that's pretty much it. And when I put the gutter on here, I'm going to have just a slight slope, so the water will run off towards that end, which I don't have to really worry about it because one end's going to be open. I'm going to do it anyways, and I'm just going to fasten in some screws into these trusses right here, and those will be galvanized or exterior screws as well that I've had left over. So all right, I'm gonna put y'all up here and let y'all watch me do it. So now all I gotta do is, I got some clippers, just gonna snip this off and it should just drop right on in there. So I'm gonna cut that off. I got some kind of strainer I want to get to put on here, put the lid on so to catch all debris and stuff. Try to keep the water as clean as possible. Shoulders. Oh, whew. Shoulder hurt. There you have it. Not pretty. It'll work. So, it's not the prettiest, but what I could do if I want to get fancy and spend a little bit more money, put the end cap here and drill a little hole in the bottom and then just let it fall in. But for now, I think we got a storm coming in tonight, or a chance of rain, so hopefully we can get some put in here and yeah, hopefully start filling this bad boy up, get our chickens some water so we ain't gotta haul it out here. Well, with that being said, guys, I appreciate you watching this channel. Also, I appreciate your support, and I hope some of y'all benefit from this. And yeah, that's it. So I appreciate it, guys, and as always, y'all stay tuned.